Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans.
Just one time in high school, Jeff, I was a bit of a cut-up. And one time in high school, everyone had to do science projects, and I just didn't. And it was months of work and checking in physics class. And finally, the teacher was like, all right, Brendan, it's your time to make your presentation. And I got up and I improv'd a science project presentation.
Oh, shit, really?
Yes.
How'd you do?
Oh, terrible, because it was clearly fake. I did this, I decided to.
Oliver Twist. He was in an orphan in jolly old London.
Exactly.
Let's take a trip to jolly old London, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. No, it's the effect of different things on chia pets.
Okay.
And I made up macro dispensated Pluto water.
Jesus Christ.
And the chia pet that I put
absurd.
that on.
How'd you not
ate
get
my
suspended?
dog. I read from my journal, and I wrote it the period before, and I was like, May 12th. I haven't seen my dog in 3 days.
Oh, Jesus. I hate it. And everyone was having a good laugh.
Everyone was in a great, except for the teacher who hated my guts.
Your poor fucking bedraggled teacher.
Yep.
Sitting there looking at you with just malice.
Hating me.
I had a class on a war. It was called Wars. It was like the history of wars in high school.
What?
Yeah. And
wow.
My friend Don was a legendary slough off, and we had a project due one day. And I remember that I was like, I'd worked on it for 2 weeks. Like I'd like put all this effort into making this wonderful project. And Don was, I used to drive to school with him. So I went over to Don's house and I was like, where's your wars project? He was like, oh shit, I didn't even know we had a wars project. He said, just a second. And he gets a piece of poster board and he draws a swastika on it and some flames around it. And he writes, "The Third Reich, may it burn in hell forever." And he turns it in and he got exactly the same grade I got. I'm so pissed.
Oh, Jesus, that's great.
Can't give a guy a bad grade for making an anti-Nazi poster.
No, every day is Punch a Nazi Day.
He was anti-Gra.
Anti-Gra. He was anti-Gra.
We got to do the anti-Gra segment again at some point.
Oh yeah. Who's pro-Gra anyway?
Who is pro-Gra? Oh, why don't you introduce ourselves?
Oh, I'll introduce ourselves.
Yes.
My name is Brendan Hughes.
Yes. Hello. You did it right. I'm Jeffrey Dinsmore.
And this is Dad Jeans, a podcast of, by, about, and for dads in the 21st century.
And yes.
It's a podcast about
and tacos.
Losing your cool.
And tacos.
Right. And tacos.
I was just I was driving down your street tonight, as one does when one is driving to your house.
That is one of the ingredients.
And I saw a poster for the new Clint Eastwood movie. Do you know what the name of the new Clint Eastwood movie is?
Does it have the word orthopedic in it?
No. Quite the opposite. It's called
Filthy Harry.
It's called Cry Macho.
Oh, that's good.
It is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know what it means.
I'm not going to tell you whether or not I was at a wedding with Clint Eastwood, but I will tell you this.
Okay.
He doesn't have a license plate.
Interesting. Was he driving a loaner car?
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's what it was.
It seems like he would have a license plate that said Clint fucking Eastwood.
That's what I would have. Exactly. Or like Make My Day or something.
Brendan,
like that.
Don't be mysterious. Why were you at a wedding with Clint Eastwood?
It's strange, right?
Yes.
I can't say any more than that.
Yes, you can. Who do you think is listening to this that's going to be upset with you?
Oh, that's true. No one.
You've got just a skewed version of reality in your head.
I went to a wedding.
No one cares about you and your small life, Brendan.
No, that's true.
Tell our listeners what they want to hear. Stop being coy.
Okay.
Stop being coy.
All right. I'll tell you the whole story. Actually, here's a good. I'll wrap it up in the failure that I am.
Okay.
So,
good. Yes.
In 2005, I went to see $1 Million Baby.
Okay.
And I was alone. I was directing a play in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah.
And I went in to the theater, sat there by myself,
yeah.
and just had a religious experience because that movie was so fucking good.
Didn't care for it, but sorry, go ahead.
Oh, when I was away from home and
you were in that
drunk.
You're in that spirit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
2005,
That's fine.
I was 31 and sad or whatever.
Yeah.
So
people liked it.
People liked it.
I find his movies to be ham-handed, but that's me.
Yes. Yeah. Invictus was definitely ham-handed.
Didn't see Invictus.
Don't bother.
Okay. Keep going.
And I afterwards went to a bar and I got a piece of paper and a pen and I wrote him a handwritten letter.
Okay.
About how much I loved $1 Million Baby and that I hoped I might shake his hand one day.
I like this story. Okay.
And I mailed it to his agent.
Okay.
I'm sure he never saw it, but
Sure.
I did. I
You
mailed
did
it.
it.
Yeah, I did it.
You did it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. And so then, like, what am I going to do? Be at a wedding years later with then Clint Eastwood's going to be there and I have the opportunity to fulfill my destiny and actually shake his hand?
Yeah.
Of course not.
You're burying the lead.
But I did.
Okay. But
I was.
But why? What wedding were you at that Clint Eastwood was also at?
My friend Philip's wedding.
I don't give a shit about your friend Philip. How does he know Clint Eastwood?
His wife was friends with Clint Eastwood.
His wife was, your friend Philip's wife was friends with Clint Eastwood. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Keep going.
Okay. So, and it was up in Carmel.
Okay.
And
I see.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Now this makes more sense. Is he from Carmel, perhaps?
He was the mayor of Carmel.
Well, Clint Eastwood was, but
I don't know. That part I don't know. Do they have a second home? They're very rich. Do they have a second home in Carmel?
Got it.
Probably. Something
Okay.
like that. Let's say that. So there I am, and I'm standing. So I'm standing in a clump, and we're right near the bar,
Yeah.
and it's me. Emily is facing me. Right behind her, back to back, is
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood standing there in his orthopedic shoes, leaning on the bar.
Wow.
Like greeting people as they get drinks.
looking grizzled.
Grizzled and awesome. Just
Okay.
like, he looks like an old man, but a very handsome old man.
Is this post Republican National Convention?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Which hey, he went for a thing. It was like me doing my science project.
He tried. Yeah, that's probably the most very accurate description of what happened there. Yes.
So I've always had a soft spot for that. And I was like, I do not agree with that guy politically, but I was like, he was trying to go for a comic bit.
He was doing a bit. That's true. Okay, keep going.
So here I am. I'm standing here. And 15 years earlier, I'd written a letter. All I have to do is go up and shake his hand and be like, hey, did you ever get a handwritten letter after $1 Million Baby? Because holy shit, that was good.
Yeah.
And in that letter, I said, I just want to shake your hand. And I'd like to shake your hand. Did I? No. No, I certainly didn't.
What'd you do?
I didn't get in line. I could have gotten in line. I could have talked to him.
Oh, you didn't even say anything.
Didn't even approach him because I wimped out.
I get it though. I saw Elvis Costello at a concert once, and Elvis Costello is my all-time. He's my guy.
Yeah.
He's my fucking guy. But I don't want to go up to him and be like, "You're my guy."
Yeah.
Like 1,000 people a day go up to him and say, "You're my guy."
Oh yeah, exactly. Because you don't want to be that guy doing that
be
thing.
That guy, but then as a result, I don't get to say, "Hey, I got to shake Elvis Costello's hands one day."
This is the thing, though, of the whole divine providence problem, because
Yes.
I came to this town because I was going to make a movie, but my parents, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I will cast Jason Ritter as my dad, right? I was thinking this one day, and that night I went to a concert at the Hollywood Bowl. And as the pack of people, the scrum is coming out of the Hollywood Bowl,
Yeah.
who do I walk next to for 2 minutes?
Shut up.
Jason Ritter.
No kidding.
And by the way, he looks me right in the eyes as if to be like, hey, you seem interesting. We're stuck here. Should we have a conversation?
Isn't he dead?
Is it No, maybe it's not Jason Ritter. John Ritter's son.
John Ritter. Oh, wait, you want Jason Ritter to be your dad? Isn't he our age?
No, to play my dad in the movie.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And-
You're not in the movie at your age, and he's playing your dad. Okay. Got
Right.
it. I forget.
And it is sexual. I didn't mention that part.
Does Jason Ritter act?
Yeah.
I thought he was a director.
No. Maybe that one isn't Jason. There's also Josh Ritter is the musician, but I'm not sure if he's related to John Ritter. I'm pretty sure it's Jason. In any case, he acts and he's just as charming as his dad.
Okay.
And we're standing there, we're coming out, and this is my chance to be like, hey, you want to play my dad in a movie I'm writing?
Yeah.
Did I do that?
No, you didn't.
No, of course not. I just stared at him.
Yeah.
And this is what it drives me crazy, and it happens all the time in this town.
Let me. Can I start out and do some compuncting?
Let's do some compuncting.
I have some compunctions from last week.
Okay, I'm looking forward to them.
Shall we play Brian L. Perkins' theme song?
Oh yes, I think. Should we play both of them?
It's always better to play both.
Here.
I'm so sorry, I was wrong, and here we are, Compunction Junction. Compunk yourself before you flunk yourself, before you dunk yourself, before you junk yourself. Compunk yourself before you gunk yourself. I'm sorry.
That was great. Thank you, Brian L. Perkins.
Thank you, Brian L. Perkins.
Okay, a couple of things. Last week, I meant to say I said the name Poe Dameron when I was talking about like some teeny bopper celebrity, and what I meant to say was Dove Cameron.
Oh, now that makes a lot
so
more
that
sense.
joke flew over everyone's head because they're like, "What? Are you Oscar Isaac? What are you talking about?"
I was like, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm glad that you laughed and went along with it. So if you haven't listened to last week's episode yet,
Just don't.
substitute. Well, yeah, stop what you're. Yeah, just,
Although it's my favorite
Probably for
named
the
episode. It's my favorite episode name of all our entire catalog.
oh really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good episode name. Number 2, I said Rose something when I was referring to, of course, the wonderful Ruth Gordon.
The bassist of Mudhoney or something.
Yes. You have several facts conflated there in a very interesting way. No, Ruth Gordon, of course, the wonderful actress who played Maude in Harold and Maude. And of
yes.
course, she was also in My Bodyguard and Where's Papa?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Where's Papa, then you are missing out on a treat.
She had a real moment in the 70s. I feel like there was this obsession with Ruth Gordon.
There were like a couple of years of Ruth Gordon.
Yeah.
She was the
all
Betty
the
White.
young. The Betty White.
Pre-Betty White.
Exactly.
Betty White.
Why aren't we remaking Harold and Maude with Betty White and, I don't know, Zac Efron or some shit?
Oh, no. Who would be the no. Oh, no. You know who it's got to be.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun casting. I was gonna say who's the fancy little Timothy Chalamet.
Yes.
Who all
Wait, isn't that a type of onion that's purple?
yes, the Timothy Chalamet Jerusalem cricket. And the other thing which I heard, I was listening to last week's episode on my way up here, and I realized the word I was looking for was transactional. That's the kind of relationship
Transactional.
that I fear support network would be a transactional relationship.
Yes, right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like you go to a rub and tug.
Yeah.
And it's just transactional. It's not. There's not love. It's not love.
Yes. No, one wouldn't know what that is, but sure.
I have a compunction also
about the rub and tug.
About having just said that.
Next week.
Next week is going to be entirely me rolling back everything I have said so far tonight.
Yes.
But I would say that I did mention that I had given my anxiety voice a name.
Oh yeah.
And the name is female.
Yes.
And at one point I was sitting at my desk here. Emily and I sit in here all day when she's in town.
Okay.
And she's like prepping a shoot or some glamorous thing while I'm, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or taxes or something. And at one point I said, Claudia wants me to be upset about drop off this morning to myself.
You said that to yourself.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a very psycho killer kind of thing to say.
I know, it really is. It's like son of Sam.
Walk right out and get in the car
like,
and leave.
Yeah, she's like, well, we had a really good run.
Yeah.
And she was like, what's that? Then I said, and then I had to, she was gone when I named my anxiety voice. And so I had to tell her the whole thing. And I was like, because I'm constantly perseverating, I had to give it a name.
Right.
And so I named it Claudia. And she was like, so you named it a woman's name?
Yeah.
Your anxiety's a woman?
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
And I was like, yeah, because, I grew up on this commune. I've been surrounded by strong women my entire life. And she said, so there was really never anything that would save this marriage, was there?
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
But in the interest of, making sure the contextual whatever, she is very funny and she was joking.
Oh, it was a droll comment?
It was a droll comment.
That's what you think what I think. Until you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, until the process server comes up to my car window.
Nothing. There's nothing left but a roll of toilet paper.
If I'm lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. She hasn't decided to take that too.
Yeah, and then she's like, yeah, meet Claudia, and it's the toilet paper roll.
I thought when I saw this comment on the sheet, or on our show notes, I thought you were going to say that you get a really high pitched voice in Dad Jeans moments. And then I was listening to Dad Jeans with that thought in my head, and I was like, wow, Brendan's voice does go really high pitched sometimes.
That's really
so
interesting.
I think maybe Claudia is trying to break out.
She is. Oh, absolutely. That's definitely true.
Could we do maybe we could do a supplementary, okay, we finally start our Patreon, and then can we give Claudia her own podcast?
Oh my God.
Like
definitely.
comment. She would be the fan commenting on dad jeans.
Yeah. Oh, like almost like MST3K.
Yeah. Or like, no, or I'm thinking like how there's just a million, like people do like Twin Peaks, like every episode of Twin Peaks or whatever. Or like it can be the after show, or like The Walking Dead when they had the Talking Dead after The Walking Dead, where they just talk about The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
And we can just have Claudia talking about our podcast every week. And
I think that's a fantastic
analyzing
idea.
us.
Yep.
From
I think
the anxiety perspective.
From the perspective of ways I feel paranoid and distraught.
It's a lot more work for you, though. I don't really have a place here.
I obviously have to do it.
You're okay with that.
You have to name your... Do you even have anxiety, or do you just walk through life finding pleasant surprises in every room?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm just a ball of strength.
Actually, ball of strength is precisely how I describe you to people who haven't met you.
I just roll through the world. Not a care, no anxiety ever. Yeah, I got anxiety, sure. I think my anxiety is like a frog, probably though. No, it's my anxiety is that frog with like on the Pink Panther shorts with like his mouth is just all stretched out and he's just sitting there smoking a cigar. That's my anxiety.
Oh yeah, that would be tough because you would want to keep him around because he sounds like a fun guy.
He would think, but no, he drags you down, man.
Yeah. So my anxiety is total clubhouse poison. It'd be great if she were funny,
right?
But instead, she just is like gossip, and she's always starting shit.
I think Claudia and Froggy would be a pretty good.
Yeah.
A pretty good side.
Better podcast.
Yeah, I think so. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, Dad Jeans will be no more. From now on, Claudia and Froggy.
And speaking of the voice thing, I do like to try and use as many octaves as possible.
Oh, good.
So that our podcast can be kind of like Whitesnake.
Yeah. I like to think of myself as the Tawny Katane.
Oh,
to your,
that's right, you are.
David Coverdale.
Yeah.
Is that right? David Coverdale? I think that was right.
I think it
is.
The
lead singer?
I would like you to wear some chiffon and get on the hood of my Prius.
Absolutely. Just twitch around. Why was she always just like rolling around on Prius? Would you, if you had a girlfriend who was always like rolling around on the hood of your car, do you think that would last?
After a while, I'd be like, "Where can we go?
Yeah, right.
I'm going to be late."
Yeah, I have to drive that car that you're sitting in. I haven't had it washed in a while.
I mean, I appreciate you doing all those high kicks.
Yeah,
from the windshield.
Look out for that bird poop. That's what I'd say.
I know.
Bird poop that's been in there
it's
for
jacaranda season. Those flowers are going to stain your chiffon.
Shall we move into our first segment?
Oh, I think that's a great idea, Jeffrey.
Great. Let's do segment 1. A Grave New World.
Grave New World.
We're all gonna die, 'cause it's a grave new world. It's a never-ending shit show, and we're all gonna die. It's a grave new world.
Talk about anxiety, Brendan.
Oh my
The
God.
news today.
Oh, I can't believe the news today.
Just nothing. Just nothing doing. Nothing doing in this world.
I wish I could close my eyes and make it go away.
Yeah. So today, or last night actually, the Texas passed a law that. Now, help me out on this. Have you read about this law? So, like, you can get up to $10,000 for turning in someone who had an abortion.
Oh my God.
But do they just hand you $10,000, or do you have to sue for that $10,000? How do you get the $10,000?
I think you probably have to produce a corpse.
Yeah,
it's like the Old West.
Ooh, geez, you have to bring a fetus in a jar.
Maybe that's it. Or I was more meaning the person who had gotten the abortion.
Oh.
You produce their corpse.
And you have to murder the person who got the abortion, and then they give you $10,000.
We are talking about Texas.
It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
This
is fucked up. I can't even make light of this thing. It's terrible.
The trolls are going crazy with the website where you're supposed to submit people. Like they're
really?
going insane. They're shutting it down over and over and over again.
Good. See, that's what I was thinking. Is there a way that could K-pop stans find a way to just bilk them out of $10,000 over and over again? Like find some loophole that just turning in my friend my friend John from home, not John McCarran, another John. He suggested, I wrote something about that on Twitter, and he suggested that we get the list of people who run anti-abortion things because they publish the names of of people who have gotten abortions. So clearly they're trying to help in the effort. I don't know. It made more sense, I guess, on Twitter.
Oh,
but there's got to be some way that like you turn in the Reverend Fred Phelps or something like that. Or can we dig up dirt on like, I'm sure there are plenty of like Republicans who have paid for abortions. Like,
all the Republican state senators in Texas have visited prostitutes and paid for it. All of them have paid for abortions.
Yes, that's right. We got to turn this against them somehow. It's fucking absurd.
Dig through their records.
So that happened, and the Supreme Court could have stopped it, but they decided not to.
Yeah, because of what's her name?
Amy Comey.
Yeah, the Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Barrett. That was sad. That's a grave New World situation. What was my other one? Another a reminder to our California friends that you have to vote no. On the Newsom recall.
Oh, right. Exactly.
Just
because
if
the Republicans were allowed to be like, we took California, then they would have a lot of momentum going into the midterms next year.
Oh, not just that, but we'd have to have a fucking Republican governor.
Who would shut down all the mask mandates, and then we would become like a Louisiana.
That's what he says he's going to do. Yeah.
This
guy who's front runner is a fucking lunatic.
Did you hear what happened in Chicago? Where there are bus drivers for the Chicago public schools.
Yeah.
70 of them quit the day before school started because they didn't want to get vaccinated.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah, because they're all Fox News jackasses.
What? Who are these people?
Who are these people
Just
that
get
walk
vaccinated.
among us?
I've seen the cops I've seen videos of cops being like, you're not going to fucking tell me what to do. Like, that's awful rich coming from a cop.
Exactly.
Fucking cop. You can't handle taking an order.
Yeah.
You dumb fucking piece of shit. You're out there fucking doling out orders like they were lemonade at a fun run. That's what you're doing. Can't get a fucking vaccine to protect and serve.
Our problem is we keep trying to square the circle of their thinking, their disjointed thinking,
right?
Where they're like, wait, but aren't you Christian? That doesn't apply at all. In any way.
Hypocrisy doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
No.
And they are totally cubist in their beliefs.
Yeah.
100%. They'll just believe in whatever. They'll just contort themselves. It doesn't even feel like a contortion.
No, they just want someone to tell them what to do.
Yeah,
and that's the entire basis of their ethos. Like, that's what their ethos is. Tell me what to do. That's why they're fucking Christians, because someone's telling them what to do
and who to hate.
Yes,
and have an enemy. And
right.
I'm sure they'll be like, I'm not racist, but they like hate Satan or something. Like, they always want to be hating something.
Oh, they're very racist.
And they are, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're saying like, okay, so say whatever your crazy religion makes you hate, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's just let me have an enemy so I can feel important.
Yeah, it's a twisted melange of things happening inside those pea brains.
It's unbelievable. But I saw someone on Reddit was saying that Biden putting the 5G microchip inside the horse manure they're all shooting up right now is a genius move.
Brilliant.
Because that way he gets the microchips in them.
Yes.
Which is great, so we can track their movement because their phones aren't doing a good enough job.
Ivermectin. And then this fucking Joe Rogan came out today with a video saying that he took ivermectin.
You're kidding me.
This guy.
And probably owns the ivermectin factory.
Right, yeah. Who is this fucking guy?
What a loser.
Fear factor? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why do people listen to this guy?
And now they gave him $500 million to build an empire. Or something like that.
Yes. Who gave? Oh, Spotify or something like that.
I don't
hired him. I think Spotify. He's like the official podcaster of Spotify or something.
It's horrible. It's horrible
because like it's all based on clicks and likes. So like any fucking fascist can get, like, there was a profile on Dana Loesch, you know, that the horrible like NRA spokeswoman.
Oh yeah,
like,
she's the worst.
Yeah, like apparently she has a right-wing radio show, and the Washington Post did like a sort of like a in the style section, they did like a cutesy like profile of her this weekend. Like, you may not like her views, but but
you love her boots.
But you love her Misfits t-shirt. She's wearing a Misfits t-shirt.
No, not
She's
acceptable.
A fucking Misfits t-shirt.
This is like when what's her name left left Fox News.
Yeah,
one of the
Tawny Katane.
Tawny Katane.
Yeah.
When Tawny Katane left, I was going to say one of the 500,000 exactly the clone blonde women, but the lead blonde,
the one who wouldn't allow Santa Claus to be black.
Yeah, not Greta Gerwig, but the other one.
Yeah, Mitchell Froome.
Mitchell Froome. That's yes. And she got like a pat. Then she was going to have her like her NBC non-political.
Yeah,
today. She was going to be the next Matt Lauer, the Mitchell Froome.
Yeah,
Mitchell Froome like
hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Mitchell
Froome,
Greta Gerwig hour. Yes.
And she and it was a total whitewash. And they were like, "You never said those fucking horrible things on Fox News because now you work for NBC and you're supposed to be apolitical." Even though she said all those fucking horrible things,
yes,
and represented those views with her blondness.
Yep.
So but they're all getting a pass because it's all fucking ridiculous. The fact, like, why anyone gets to leave Fox News and ever work again, or the Trump administration, makes no sense to me.
Because it's not like that whole segment. Like, you know, it must suck. Like, I'd love to hear what your brother has to say about this. You know, as a reporter, like, there's just this whole class of people in the journalism profession who are not journalists.
Right.
They're just heads who are like reading the script, right?
Yeah.
And that's
they don't even know what they're saying.
And they don't give a shit. Like,
yeah. And politicians the same. They walk in and they're like, "What's my view on this?" before the radio show starts.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I actually did ask him at one point. I was like, "Dave, what are you told to write about Bernie Sanders and what are you told to write about Hillary Clinton?"
Okay.
And he's like, "Well, we get a lot of instructions."
Really?
Well, he was lying, though.
Oh, okay.
He brutally made fun of me because he made it clear that they just write whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I buy that in a newspaper.
Right.
But like, I mean, even that, there's like so few that are independent anymore, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they do have marching orders if it's like a big syndicate, you know?
Yeah. And you gotta imagine, not in his case, but like at the New York Times, the political editor of the New York Times was like from suburban Arizona and lived on a man-made lake before he took over the department.
Right.
And so you got to think to yourself, that speaks of certain values.
Yes.
Like this guy believes in suburbs. And he believes in, and this economy works perfectly for him.
Sure.
So he's coming in with the perspective, oh, well, this economy works just fine. I don't know why the liberal left is so upset about everything.
Right.
And so that he was like, it's a meritocracy. It's not a meritocracy.
Yeah. It's the way that like we'll never get a honest discussion about healthcare because like everyone who's leading the discussion, they're like, that's fine for me. Like I go to the doctor and then someone pays my bill for me. Like, this is a fine system, you know?
I go to work every day and HR sometimes is like, did you have that eye operation already? Et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Yeah.
And then they buy me a gift basket. What's wrong with life?
Yeah. They're not affected.
Yeah. I, by the way, went to the eye doctor today and she put those drops in that might make my pupils huge.
Oh, are you okay now?
I'm okay now.
This is a beautiful day. It's been like in the low 70s around here.
Yeah, it's been nice.
It's been so nice.
We've needed this very badly.
I needed it.
And speaking of beautiful days,
yeah.
So I was just on Cape Cod. This is my Grave New World.
Grave New World.
I was just on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
And the mosquitoes were biblical.
Oof.
Horrendous. Like you walk out of the house and you have 19 mosquitoes sitting on your legs.
Oh,
it was horrible. The entire time it was terrible.
Sure.
And so what had happened was... What had happened was that a dune had collapsed.
A dune. Okay.
A Donny Dune had collapsed.
And there were a bunch of mosquitoes hiding inside?
It had trapped a lot of ocean water into this sort of suck pool.
Oh.
And then the mosquitoes were like, what do we have here? A little brine?
Oh my gosh.
And then the mosquitoes bloomed into this just like insane hell cloud of blood sucking beasts.
Gross.
And they carpeted Cape Cod. And it was basically unlivable. Like I had a net over my head at one point while I was mowing the lawn.
Oh
terrible. And so then I was like, wow, those mosquitoes, geez Louise, boy, that was something else, etc. Right?
How about it? Boy howdy.
But then, boy howdy, the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That was almost no fun.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks after I got home, I was like, wait a second. Why did that dune collapse? Because of climate change.
I can't even picture what a dune collapsing means. Like, isn't it just a big pile of sand?
You would think, yes, you would think that, wouldn't you?
One-
Not you.
one
One would. You
Yeah.
would think that, wouldn't you?
I'm sorry.
But I don't know. That's all the information I have. I thought it was a big pile of sand also.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a bunch of ocean water is trapped. And so, but meanwhile, on Cape Cod also,
Yeah.
there are great white sharks all over the place. We were called out of the water every 45 minutes because there were sharks.
Really?
Yeah, over and over. They had
That
these
close to
transponders.
shore?
That if they got within 30 yards of shore, the person would tweet on the whistle. The
Okay.
lifeguard would be like, tweet, 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 and they'd change the flag from the purple flag with the shark on it. That means there are no sharks.
Yeah.
To the black flag without sharks on it. That means there are sharks.
Of course.
And-
Obviously.
Yeah, that was the system they worked out.
Yeah.
And so then we'd all have to come out of the
And
water.
Roy
and then,
Scheider would come running down the beach.
exactly. And then, push in on the track, but zoom out at the same time.
Yeah.
And then some dumb kid takes too long to get out. A dog's missing. And it's
Terrible.
over.
I just watched that. Oh, I think I've talked about this on air. I just watched that again not too
It's
long
so
ago.
good.
I hadn't seen it since I was probably a kid. Like, I don't think Jaws is like one of those movies that I always know that it's a great movie, but I haven't like seen it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
to know for a fact that it's a great movie, but it's a great movie.
I might watch it once a year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing about Jaws.
Yeah.
There are a lot of moments where there's dialogue that you're supposed to be listening to.
Yeah.
But then there's other dialogue in the background that
Oh,
if
yeah.
you strain yourself, you can totally hear.
Oh, it's Altman. Yeah.
It's two
the
layers of
Altman thing.
dialogue
He
at the
took
same time.
He took the Altman
But here's the thing.
thing.
It suggests that there's some sort of element underneath where you are, just like a shark.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's
That's
something going
interesting.
on underneath the something.
Wow.
Death from below.
I saw someone was like listening to, I think it was like a podcast about Jaws, and like apparently there were people who were very angry at Steven Spielberg because he claimed more credit than he deserved for Jaws.
Didn't he direct it?
He did, but they apparently he needed to be saved a lot.
Oh, well, sure. It wasn't his first feat. No, he made Duel before that.
Yeah, it was his first like big movie like that.
I'm going to come out in defense of young feature film directors everywhere and say, boy, do you have to get saved every day.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, sure, he got the credit, so who gives a shit?
That's the thing. It's like you get to be the director should not be paid because they get to be like, I directed a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because you have to be saved a lot. Emily at one point pulled me aside and she was like, "You're losing your movie."
Really?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
In that context, it was a thing about the blocking, and it was starting to get. I was blocking it in a way that was making it hard to shoot.
Ugh, your blocking was blocked.
My blocking was blocked up.
And if you hadn't fixed that block, then the movie would have been a disaster.
In her eyes, then I don't know if it would have been a disaster.
Was
per
that
se.
hard to work with your wife?
No, only in that one moment. Other than that,
Oh,
it was
really?
a romance fest.
Oh, really?
She is a genius. A genius. I think I said that last week. A genius.
Right, but I would feel like intimidated.
She knows stuff that I can't even begin to. I'll never understand.
Right.
Like there was a moment where she was. We had this thing called a Dana dolly, and
Okay.
she was pushing the camera towards the action, but she was also keeping focus. But we also had this thing called a zoom control, where she had a remote control that was creating a zoom at the same time as she was pushing.
She was using that with her foot. How was she doing all these things?
She was pushing the Dana dolly is on. It's like the camera's on a skateboard on two pipes that are at table height, and so she's pushing that whole rig, and she's pushing that by the skateboard platform on which is resting the zoom control. And so she's operating the zoom control with the hand she's also pushing the camera with, and then she's doing the focus with the other hand. So she's basically doing three jobs. And some people, like, this is three careers that she's doing. And she did it. And then afterwards, the assistant camera guy came up to me and said, "Do you have any idea what your wife just pulled off?"
Wow.
It
That's
was
crazy.
Crazy.
It's like the drummer with the two bass drums, and he's doing a different beat on like each hand and each foot.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. He's doing like 9/8 on the left hand.
Yeah.
And 14/16 on the right foot.
That's incredible. I can't wait to see these things.
I can't wait to show you.
Can we move on to one toe?
One toe.
You put your one toe in, then leave it in. You're done.
Okay, Brendan. I didn't get as upset about that Grave New World as I thought I should. But let me tell you, people, I'm upset, and we gotta.
Yeah, me too.
We got to do something because these fucking Democrats out here, they're not doing it. They're not rising to the occasion, man.
Right.
We need massive change. We need fucking filibuster reform. We need voting rights.
But the Democrats they will always be like,
the court.
That seems like actually getting something done is a bridge too far.
Well, they're like, we didn't need just a majority. We need like a huge majority. Like,
only
how can we do
unanimous
anything?
laws should ever pass.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Republicans had held both houses in the presidency right now? What they would be doing?
It would be the end of the world.
It'd be the end of the world, and you'd get like 5 Democratic votes on ending the world.
Right? Yeah. Kristen Sinema would be like, "When I thought you never asked."
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely, you should end the world.
Well, I guess I'll trust you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So my one toe in the cool. This is a segment in which we talk about something cool that we did.
It is.
So Saturday night, last Saturday night, my friends had a pool party. So we went over to the pool party, and it was a good old time. I hadn't been to like a social gathering like that in a while. Mm-hmm. Kids were swimming it up, having a good time. And one of my friends who was there, the guy actually who said, "You did good, Dad."
Oh yes. I think about him a lot.
I think about him a lot. Yeah, he's part of my history at this point. Mm-hmm. But he likes to play a game or two. A board game, a tabletop game.
He's a man that plays at games of chance.
Yeah, I like these complicated board games.
Oh, sure.
And I just keep buying them, and I have like stacks and stacks of them at home, but no one will ever play them.
Your Tammany Halls, your Gloomhavens.
I just admire them. I don't know Tammany Hall.
That's great.
Gloomhaven
Machine
is
politics.
a lot of money, but I hear it's really great.
My birthday's coming up.
Really? All right. Yeah, I'll buy you Gloomhaven and Tammany Hall. I have one called Oliver Twist. That's pretty fun.
Oh.
Speaking of Oliver Twist,
Do you torture orphans?
Yeah. No, you become a street urchin and you go around stealing things.
That's awesome.
It's pretty fun. And you got to go back and pay the vig to Fagin. But so Eric was like, "What are you doing tomorrow? Let's how about we do brunch and play a game?" And I was like, "Yes, that is what I'm doing tomorrow." So I bought this game called Everdell. And it's this incredible, like, I love these games with like a million props. And you put together this giant cardboard tree on this plain board. And then you have you're building a city full of forest creatures, like adorable looking forest creatures.
Oh my God.
And you get to you're like collecting berries and logs that you can then use to build houses and stuff like that. And it's this turn-based strategy game. And I played it on Sunday morning, and it was so much fun. It was like the most fun I've had in ages. And it was just me playing a game with another human. And not in my house.
Were your kids all playing together or something like that, or how'd that part work?
Well, Hazel came with me, and they were playing. Hazel and their friends. Remember, Hazel is now non-binary. So
right. So you say their friends.
We refer to Hazel as they them.
Yep.
Yes. They were playing this other game called Machikoro, which I love.
Oh, I've heard about Machikoro.
It's very fun. Hazel is a total shark. Like, Hazel dominates at this game. And they were playing that with their friends next to us. So it was like the kids game and the adults game.
Oh my God.
And we were just like having a good old time, yucking it up, like doing some strategy, 2 hours on a Sunday morning. And then I went home.
Fantastic.
It's like the perfect amount of social time.
Yes, exactly.
There was no awkward, like, okay, well, what, like, maybe I should go now. There was just like, nope, game's over, time to go.
Oh, it's great.
It was so perfect.
Yeah, it's a little transactional.
Yes, that's true. It's beautifully transactional. I get my needs met. He gets his needs met.
You get your ticket punched.
Kids get their needs met. Mm-hmm. Bob's your uncle.
Knobs get polished.
Then I went home and stroked off, thinking about how wonderful it was.
Who won Evendell?
Eric did. He kicked my ass. But to be fair, he had played the game before, so I was playing it with him so that he could teach me the game.
Yes.
And he
This is an
had the
exhibition
strategy.
match.
He just kicked my ass.
We just played Cities and Knights of Catan as a threesome, me, my wife, and my son.
Okay.
And it was
I don't know.
really fun.
The Knights. What's Knights of?
Cities and Knights. This
I
is
don't
an
know
old
that part.
BLP joke, but he brought it once to this big New Year's thing, and he was like, "Guys, I brought Cities and Knights of Catan, so we can finally find out what happens on the island when the sun goes down."
Yes. I believe this has been said. Joke has been retold on Dad Jesus.
Has it
before
really?
as well.
Oh, Brian, God, it's one of my faves. So Catan is it's a board game.
Yep.
Settlers of Catan, and this
Yep.
is an expansion.
Yep.
Where it's more about cities. It's like you have to build cities, and then you are a prince of Catan. You build metropoli, you build libraries, you
Cool.
build a great exchange for you deal in the realms of politics, trade,
Wow.
and science.
Is it connected to
Yeah.
Catan? Like, do you play
Yeah.
them with both boards together?
Yeah, it's just an add-on of things and cards and
Does it make the game longer?
It makes the game a lot longer. You have to play it at 14 points, but it is great.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot more strategy. You live and die by how you placed it in the beginning. Poor Emily got 3 points. We just like blocked her in, and then she was just sitting there. And she was sort of laughing to herself about how pitiful her situation was.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's what that was one nice thing about this game, Everdell. It's very similar to Wingspan. Have you played that?
No.
Where you're like building your aviary. There's like everyone can pursue their own strategy. Like it's not you're not on one mutual board where you're like blocking each other off.
Oh.
So that's kind of nice. Like,
That is nice,
like,
right?
You can be like, I'm gonna like focus on this. Like, you don't necessarily need to play defensively.
It's not zero sum.
It's not a zero sum game, no. But there is a winner and a loser, and I was the loser.
No.
Clear loser.
For the first time that I know of.
Thank you, Brendan. Yeah. It was quite shocking to my system, actually.
That's pretty awesome that you did that. I love the
was
idea
great.
of that. I went on a hike with my old friend Gio
Oh,
and
yeah?
his son, and our
Okay.
two sons.
See the guy you shared the office with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it was great. We had a great time. It had been a long time since I'd had like
you have a
chum
support network.
time. I suppose I do.
Yeah.
And we just chit-chatted about this and that.
Where'd you hike?
Griffith Park, which apparently has tons of hiking trails.
Yeah. Griffith Park after dark. Do you go up to the planetarium or the
Not
observatory?
Quite. We didn't quite get that far.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we got
nice.
to the bridge and then went back.
We used to live in Los Feliz, but right
Oh,
down
yes.
the hill from there. So we would often go hiking up there. Loved it.
You know what I wouldn't do?
What?
That when I lived 2 blocks away from you, because I was such a fucking slug when I first moved here.
Yeah.
It took years for me to be like, oh, now I understand LA. You're supposed to go out, hit the public pools, hit
Right.
the trails.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to be in some fucking dive bar being a slug.
Nah, that sounds kind of nice, actually.
I do like a chicken wing.
Yeah,
At
you're supposed
Rustic
you're
Inn.
supposed to do a podcast. That's what you're supposed to do.
You're
in
supposed
LA.
to do a podcast.
You
in
got to
LA.
get out, do your podcast,
Right. Do
Yeah.
it away from home. Do it on a trail.
do it on it. Yeah, you could do the trail podcast. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we should do that. Maybe Augie and Froggy. No, Claudia and Froggy.
Froggy.
Right, Augie and Froggy.
They're always going on wholesome hikes together.
Yeah.
And strategizing about how to torture us.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I love that. Ooh, yeah, that's right. They could come up with some plans to sabotage us.
Yeah.
That they couldn't. Oh, I love it.
I'm such an easy target, too. An easy
Yeah.
mark for a saboteur.
Yeah. Well, that's why Claudia's inhabited your body. She knows that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you were a girl in my high school and came up to me and were like, hey, I think we need to talk later.
Yeah.
I would have a full-on panic
Erection?
attack.
Oh, sorry.
Well, both.
Yeah. And what would you do? Would you talk to that person?
Yeah, I'd think about it, write it down, try and get this energy out of my system.
And
What
then-
is it? Why do they need to? What is it? Am I in trouble? Oh my God, what did I
And
do?
then she would say, I don't really want to talk to you, loser. I was just
yeah,
joking.
Yeah, she would be like, I heard it makes you have a panic attack, and I wanted to see if it worked. And clearly it did.
While your face is all burst out in hives.
Hives.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Hideous monster.
Ugh.
Well, Brendan, I'm glad you got over that, and you're the charming specimen I see before me today.
Well, you're very kind. Although, try it right now. Try it. See, tell me that there's something you need to talk to me about after the podcast is over.
I'm gonna do it in a way like as you. If I were to do it like a girl who might want to, kiss you or something, it probably wouldn't make you anxious. So I'm gonna do it in a way like this is how I'm gonna play this role. You ready?
I'm ready.
I need to talk to you about something after this podcast.
Is everything okay? Just tell me now. What is it? Just tell me. Just tell me, and then we'll do the podcast. We'll keep going afterwards.
I'm not going to
just.
No.
I think
I'm not going to talk about this.
It's okay. Our listeners can hear it. I'm an open book. Whatever.
Listen.
It's okay. Whatever. You can just. What is it? Just tell me.
I know about you and Clint Eastwood.
Oh fuck! Look, I'm sorry.
I told you not to talk about that on the air, Brendan. I told you not to tell anyone that Clint Eastwood was at my wedding.
Well, actually,
I'm Phil now.
this is pretty good. This is actually kind of interesting.
What?
Because as we're going through this is like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
It's occurring to me that I don't give a fuck anymore. And if anyone had come, like at my 30th high school reunion is coming up. Or maybe that already happened in the 30. No, it's happening. So my 30th is next year. And I'm sure if I went to it and like one of the girls I dated in high school was like, so I think we need to have a talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh shit, what the fuck did I do? But I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
Because I'd be like, oh, okay, I don't know if I'm staying that long. So
Right.
What is it? Or
Really?
bye.
I'd be like, I'm leaving my wife right now. What do you need? What do you need? Let's go.
And she'd be like,
I'm done with this.
no, I think you parked me in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, terrible. Brendan, tell me, what's your
One toe in the cool?
one toe in the cool?
I locked picture on a documentary yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
So this is the one that I have seen only half of. I apologize.
Quite all right.
The half I saw was quite remarkable.
Thank you.
But I don't know what happened. I think I had it and then the
Your
link
dad
disappeared. And
no one can ever watch
But
things in one
it's
sitting.
rude of me. But I thought what I saw was quite remarkable. So now what do you do with that? What happens now?
Now it goes out to film festivals, etc. See what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
But I can't come up with a name. For the fucking life of me, I can't name this thing.
Yeah.
And
Arbeit macht frei.
All right, is taken.
Oh, fuck.
Or was taken many
Fuck.
years ago.
All right.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Is like it's about World War II. It's about a B-17 that crashed in Austria in World War II, and about an Austrian man who had no love for the Nazis, fucking hated the Nazis, but many people in his town didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to all the airmen who parachuted out of the B-17? And it's a very interesting story. But I was sort of like, what the fuck do I call this thing? And actually, one title came that I was sort of collaborating with some people. One guy who's actually in the thing has been helping me with this, and we're thinking. And I was like, "Well, what would be great?" Because all the children of the airmen come to Austria in this documentary and sort of visit the. Oh yeah, so they come and they visit. They're all in their 70s now, but they were the children of these. All their fathers were on the plane that crashed, right?
Right.
And then I was like, well, fatherland. Because it opens and Georg, the Austrian guy, is metal detecting the entire, like exhuming parts of the plane from this hillside behind a monastery.
Sure.
And so land and fathers and the Anschluss
What's wrong
and
with
whatever,
that?
fatherland. But if you were flipping through a thing, if you saw a document, there's a documentary called Fatherland.
Yeah.
Would you think to yourself, probably about Nazis? And if it isn't about Nazis, why would they name it Fatherland?
But it is about Nazis.
I mean,
somewhat.
but it is kind of about, right, that's exactly right. But
Yeah.
it is kind of. But is it okay? Would anyone recoil from something like that?
I don't know. I don't think so, unless you're kind of like subtly hinting that this guy's a Nazi.
Which he's not. He certainly is not. But, right. But that's like that.
Why don't you call it B-17 Mysteries?
That's pretty good.
Right there. Who doesn't want to watch that movie?
Fatherland, fuck the Nazis.
Yeah. You're no father of mine, land.
I know. Yeah, it's impossible. It's been impossible to name. I was going to name it Remembrance. I was just going to name it Graz, which is the town that it's near. It is so hard to name. I'm at the point now where I have to submit it to festivals, and I can't think of a name.
What about, so he's like hunting for, he's metal hunting or whatever. Is there like anything around the idea of hunting? Because it's kind of like that's kind of what they're doing. They're hunting for knowledge, right? Like, is there
hunting or digging or something like that, or exhuming of things?
There you go. Have you followed that path?
I'll follow it more. Hey, I'm talking to an ad man. Jeff, I need 60 titles on my desk by 9 a.m.
Done.
Fantastic.
B-17 Mysteries. That's my primary choice.
Excellent. I think it's pretty good.
I'll think on it. If you're actually looking for suggestions.
I'm desperate.
Yeah.
That is it.
Digging up bones.
Digging up bones. Digging up them plane parts.
Yeah. Plane daddy.
Plane daddy.
Ooh, how about that? That's pretty fun.
Just plain crazy.
Just plain crazy. Yes. That's amazing.
That would be pretty amazing if they ever burst in a song. If it weren't such a serious documentary, that would be perfect.
I don't think it quite works.
Plain crazy.
I love it. Okay, let's move on to our Spite Club.
Oh, Spite Club.
I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! Fuck!
Jeff.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that you are irrelevant?
Yep.
Me too.
Yep.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
The sprint of irrelevance
Yeah.
that has come for me. Mm-hmm. I was not
You're
ready
angry
to be
about it?
overtaken. I'm not going to say I'm angry about it. I know this is a touchy subject. I think I'm supposed to take it, just like take my lumps.
Yeah.
Because
Just accept it.
Like,
because we used to, when we started this podcast, we used to joke about it, but I never really felt irrelevant. But now I'm like, we're just nothing. Like no one looks at us. We're just nothing. We're
oh my God.
ghosts
I can be in
wafting
the
world.
line at a coffee shop, and if it's a 20-year-old behind the counter and there's a 20-year-old directly behind me, they will literally look through my torso and ask the 20-year-old behind me what they want to drink.
You know, you're not even there. No.
I'm literally not there.
Yep. It sucks. It has like sort of, I think it's like the first couple of years with kids, because it's still like you're still in that like people with little kids are cool,
right? Because it just happened, and you can still kind of see them. They haven't gone over the horizon yet.
Right. And everyone wants to see the babies, and they're cute, and they're like, you're like, look at those young go-getters out there making it happen.
Possibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Look at the potential of that young family.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're just fucking nothing. We're like useless. We're just taking up the world and shitting like too much.
Right, exactly.
Into toilets.
And into toilets.
Yeah. That's where I shit.
Well, okay. Well, whatever floats your boat, Jeff.
Whatever floats your plane.
But if we try to be, I have found the irrelevance has taken several new forms. Every day, basically, there's a new form of irrelevance that I have to get used to. One is I can't be self-effacing anymore because people literally don't understand. They don't expect any sort of humor or anything. We have these neighbors right next door that seem really cool. They're a young couple. They got a Great Dane. Yeah. And we've been trying to be like, hey, but we're clearly grandparent level to them. You know what I mean? They're married. That we should be peers. Oh, you're like, we're married. It's the same thing. It's the same organism. Yeah. And but I can tell, like, and Emily was like, we're kind of the loud family. Sorry about that, you guys. We are back in town. And they're like, oh, we haven't heard
even noticed you. Who are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We haven't heard anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so there's just this amount of no one's interested that became 100% in every direction. Yeah. So like within 90 days.
Yep. That's why guys our age like start running marathons and like get all fit because we're like desperately like, what did we have before that we don't have anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
How do I get it back?
Yes. Guess who started CrossFit?
You.
Yeah, because of that phenomenon.
Right. You're like, I have nothing. I have to go and
maybe if I'll have
tire.
muscles. Yeah, maybe.
Right.
If I look like my body looks like it's 10 years younger than my fucking face. Right. Then maybe there'll be I can get some of that relevance back.
I mean, it's true. Like when I see a super fit old guy walking around the beach, I'm like, all right, that guy's all right. That guy's hanging in there somehow.
Right, exactly.
I'll never be him, but I admire him.
It is really hard. Yeah. I had to do the intake, and I'm trying to lift the barbells in a particular way and go into a squat and then do a zip jack burpee and all that kind of stuff.
Did you throw up?
No, not yet. I look forward to that part.
Oh, God. I would throw up the second. I would throw up like within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes. I would probably just like, yeah, I'm sure. It's like instantly I'd just be like vomiting all over the place.
I'm here to sign up for CrossFit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'd put the pen down and just throw up all over the tires.
Right. They don't call it CrossFit anymore, though, because I think CrossFit is... the founder, I think, had some problems.
Oh, he was a fondler?
Me Too type.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I know. It is really, really a sad state of affairs that like, I would never like laugh at the old guy at the concert. I'd be like, But you notice the old guy at the concert.
Yeah.
You're like, look at that guy.
Yeah.
What's he doing here?
I don't know if anachronistic is the right word, but something in that neighborhood.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm just like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I have to go to old guy concerts now.
Right.
I'm going to see Elvis Costello. I'm going to see all the artists I'm going to see are older than me.
You got to see the 4 o'clock show.
Yeah, exactly. I got to get my Blue Plate special.
Or go to all ages. It actually refers to us because all the kids have fake IDs.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. Should go to all ages. Somehow my friend Jay has like mysteriously sidestepped that. I mean, he's divorced, but he doesn't seem like pathetic divorced. Like he seems like he's kind of like, you know, I mean, he's just like, he's like us. He's not like super fit or anything. He's just like, he's just somehow become like distinguished as he's gotten older.
He has that shock of white hair. That helps.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of like got that David Lynch swashbuckle.
Oh, he's got hair. That's helpful. I don't have that. I'm missing that. I don't know, man. It is. I don't want to talk about that anymore. That's making me sad.
No, let's not.
Why'd you make me sad?
How can we be relevant, Jeffrey?
Well,
should we just be relevant to each other in rooms by ourselves, smoky rooms?
This should be relevant. I have a trick that I've figured out that like younger I don't know, younger guys, I don't really try to interact with them that much, but younger women, like at work, I've discovered that when I call younger women dude, like they love it.
Oh,
that's how you're cool. I'm like, dude, you will not believe what happened today. And like
great.
a 25-year-old girl is like, like this 50-year-old guy's calling me dude. That's hilarious.
That's genius. I was approaching the crosswalk today, and school's back in session in the college up the hill.
Yeah.
And there was a young woman, 22, coming in my direction, and I did not have the energy to even walk. Like, to me, she'd just be a young woman that I would walk past.
Sure.
But it would fill my head with so much, like, I'm bothering her somehow energy that I didn't have the time.
You didn't even want to cross the street?
I didn't even want to cross the street and pass her crossing on the crosswalk, so I took a right and went down to the next
Claudia
block.
Speaking.
That's
Claudia speaking.
Because I was like, I know I'll somehow feel like I'm just crossing the street will somehow impede, like just be encroach on her day.
Brendan.
And so I can't do this.
Self-loathing.
I know.
She'd be like, go home and like just like have to take a shower to like get rid of the stench of the guy who passed her.
Yeah.
On the
right.
crosswalk.
This like geezer who's probably, that kind of,
I don't know, man. I think you just have to embrace whatever you are. That's my advice.
That's probably good advice.
Okay, My Spite Club. Mm-hmm. So do you know about the book Wonder? Have you read this book? It's it's a very recognizable cover. It was like one of those huge best-selling phenomenon books where like
the Celestine
everyone
Prophecy.
read it. I mean, yeah, in that like level of like everyone read it. But it was like a kid's book, and it was like it's got this like bright blue cover, and there's this like sort of weirdly like just like a non-filled in face in the center of it. I'm gonna find the cover actually and show it to you.
I'll look for it while you talk.
Yes. Okay. Wonder. Book is called Wonder. I don't know who wrote it, but like my kids got into this book. Both of them, or Hazel read it, and then Eli listened to the audiobook, and they were both really into it. And my wife read part of it, I think, and she says it's like a really great book. Like, it's about this kid who has like a facial deformity, and he goes to school, and then he like ends up being like making friends and like, yes. Do you know that?
I've never
cover?
seen it.
Oh, interesting. That's a man who doesn't peruse a bookstore very often, apparently.
No, sadly, no.
But I mean, it's supposedly a great book, and it's beloved. So they made a movie out of it with, I don't know the name of the kid who played the kid. You probably wouldn't either. But
Derek Jacobi.
Sure, yeah, there you go, Derek Jacobi. No, I'm sure his name is like Chetty or something. I don't know. Like what's a kid's name? Like
Cheddar McGillicuddy,
Casey something, or I don't know.
Oh, Braden.
Yeah, there you go. It's probably Braden something. But the parents are Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson. And you would think like I vaguely remember a movie being made about the book, but then I saw like Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson. I'm like, you would think that would be a gigantic release, right?
Right.
And I watched this thing with my family, and it was so maudlin by the books just like, ugh, it just like made me feel like, what am I watching? It was like watching like a cracker that had been soaked in like soda water or something.
Marf.
It was just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those movies where you're just like, why was this made? Like, who was it made for? But it was
Like
like
a young adult machine just stamped out.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like, it was trying so fucking hard to like rip your heart out of your chest, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was no fucking Mask. This kid wasn't Rocky Dennis. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know, it wasn't that. It
that
wasn't,
movie was amazing.
That movie was amazing, exactly. But like, it was like quirky characters in that movie, like that were like an interesting story. And this movie was just like, it was like a suburban kid, and he had like a weird face because he was born with some like defects or something, and he had to have a bunch of surgery. And then he like, you know, goes to school and kids pick on him, but then people see like the true heart inside of him, and at the end of the movie everyone gives him a standing ovation, you know? It's like one of those kinds of movies. Like, but they showed nothing likable about this kid. Like the only thing likable about him was his weird face. Like it was just like it was like the what we saw in the movie was so antithetical to like the to like the message that it was trying to convey, because the message was that like the goodness inside of you will shine through, you know, no matter what.
Right. But they didn't bother to depict any of his goodness that would shine through.
I mean, they tried. He was good by being innocuous. He wasn't a jerk, and he had a fucked up face. And so like, because he wasn't a jerk, like he got extra points for having the fucked up face. And so then it was like, he's a wonderful, amazing human being.
Right. He's so winning because he just wears that face everywhere.
Yes, exactly. Because can you imagine how hard it would be to have that face?
So it wasn't actually winning. Did they cast a kid with an actual deformity?
No, they put a bunch of makeup on some kid.
Because I was going to say, maybe it's a casting issue and they just couldn't find among the acting pool of
the right
kids
weird
who
face.
already have this deformity.
Yeah.
They couldn't find the right one.
Yeah. No, they just slap some makeup on a normal looking kid.
Then they have no excuse. They should have got a kid that was winning.
Right. Exactly. I mean, he was fine. The kid was fine. It was just, it's like, you can't hang a movie on like an oddity and then be like, the point of the movie is like to ignore the oddity. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which is why Mask is so great, because it is all about how fucked up his face is.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, that kid fucking rules. And he's got spirit, and he's like a ass kicker, and he's not like a fucking like just sap. You know?
Right, exactly.
He's a badass too.
Yeah, and is overcoming a lot at home in that trailer with Cher.
Yeah, come on, Cher and who is Sam Shepard, or who was his dad?
Oh, what? Oh,
the guy with
Billy,
the mustache
Sam
guy?
Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
I was going to say
wasn't
Billy
that-
Elliott.
wasn't
Sam,
that his,
Sam Elliott.
her boyfriend?
Yeah, with the big old mustache.
I should just watch Mask again.
Yeah,
So
that
much
was
better.
it. Show your kids Mask.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just like it. Makes me a little sad to see like the money that they pour into certain movies that you're just
Right.
like,
It's just cynical.
they're just not, and they're not even like they're trying to be so safe that they just like suck out anything like pleasurable about the movie.
Exactly correct.
I'm done with it.
Oh,
No more
that's so
Hollywood
annoying.
for
Yeah.
me, man.
The Mask was like it was 80s, but it came out of the 70s school of movies should be good versus palatable.
Sure,
And movies are now just palatable.
There's quite a little like I feel like Jaws was part of this, right? Like I feel like in the early 80s there was a mini little, like we think of 70s as being like the great period for film, but like 80s was the period where they figured out how to combine that with commercial films.
Yes.
And they had like, you know, there were a good like 4 years there where they were making like really good movies that were also like very mainstream and
Right.
like, made a lot of money.
Oh,
you
we
know?
just watched The Princess Bride. The casting in The Princess Bride is fucking incredible.
It's incredible. I'll tell you my one problem with The Princess Bride. Billy Crystal.
Really?
Yes.
He stands out as just not in the same movie as everyone else.
He's just, it's like he does the old Jew, the Billy Crystal old Jew character.
Right.
It's like a weird, like to me, it doesn't, I know that's Billy Crystal in makeup the entire time.
Oh,
Carol
interesting.
Kane, I lose myself in Carol
sure.
Kane. Carol Kane is fantastic.
Carol Kane is fantastic. Andre the Giant.
Oh, he's great.
Mandy Patinkin.
All the main
Wallace
leads are
Shawn.
great. Yes.
Casting Wallace Shawn as one of the villains. Would it ever occur to you in a million years to cast him as a villain?
Never.
It's brilliant.
Carrie Always is quite funny in that movie.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
And what's her name from House of Cards?
Robin.
Right.
Penn.
Penn.
Right. Penn.
Right. Penn.
Yes.
Right.
Left. Yeah, that is really. Have you read the book?
Yep.
Oh, it's such a treat.
It's lovely.
The book is amazing because the book takes like everything great about the movie and just like gives it a little bit more.
Which one came out first?
The book.
The book did come out first.
But it's by the author was a screenwriter.
Oh, I see. There's a lot. I feel like it's like Tristram Shandy for kids. Like it's very meta.
Right.
The entire time. And it was the first time I'd read a book that was meta like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Wow, this is amazing."
Yeah, I love that.
It's great.
Did Oscar like it?
He did.
Cool.
He did indeed.
I still haven't quite gotten our kids there yet.
What about the ROUSs? Rodents of unusual size? I don't believe they exist. It's great.
And it's also like that fun, like, you know, if they had made that movie today, it would be all like CGI, but it's like
exactly
obviously like a big dumb like like stuffed rat. It's like makes it so much better.
And all the settings are there. So you could imagine the craft table just off screen. Like everything was like perfectly pressed, and they just sort of they didn't care. They were all having a great time.
Yes,
and it came through the screen.
Oh, Rob Reiner, he had a good run too.
Did he direct that?
Yep.
Jesus, really good.
Yep.
The Whimsy.
The Whimsy.
What you want as a director, Jeff, is savage whimsy.
Love that. I would buy that. Sure. Savage Whimsy.
Yeah.
It's a great episode title. Just saying.
Oh, just saying.
Just
I don't
saying.
know. We're going to flagpole it up the yin yang.
Do we shut it down now?
I think we shut it down on the title.